In this video, you will see how to use tags to display object information in a view. You'll see how to add text notes with leaders to an elevation and align both text and tags in the view. I have the exercise file Add Elevation Notes open, and we're looking at the west elevation view. And in this view, we need to add some notes to describe the objects and materials that are going to be used for the building. And we will do this with a combination of tags and text. First, I'll select one of the walls here in the view. And now, from the Properties palette, we'll click Edit Type to access its type properties. And now, looking at the Identity Data panel here, we can see that we have a parameter for description, and we can see it reads Beige Stucco Render Exterior Wall, and we can use a tag to display this information in the view. I'll click OK to close the type properties, and most of the objects in this view have had that description information added. And as they are different types of objects, such as roofs and windows, we will use a custom multi-category tag that we have loaded into this project. So I'll go to the Annotate ribbon tab, and from the Tags panel here, we'll click Multi-Category Tag. Looking at Type Selector, we can see we have the Object Description tag selected. And looking at the options bar, we can see that it's set to have an attached end, which means as we go over the objects here, we can see that the tag position is fixed relative to the object. So that's not really going to suit our purpose, so I'll go back to the options bar and we'll change it from attached end to free end. And this means we'll be able to place the leader and draw it away and position the text as we need to. So as I move my cursor over the wall, we can see the preview of the descriptions here, and I'll click on the stucco wall just here, and now we can draw the leader line away and click to place that, and then we can draw the shoulder out horizontal to place the text itself. And next I'll click on the roof here. Now as we draw the leader line away, we can see we get a blue alignment line so that we can line up with the shoulder of the leader below. And then we get another alignment line here so that we can also line up the text notes. So we'll continue to add some of these tags on to the red brick wall here, and then using the alignment lines to position them. And then we'll get the wall at the bottom here, which is a 12-inch concrete foundation wall, and align that one up. And now we'll also select the window in the wall here. And once again we can place that note using the alignment lines so that we get a nicely organized set of notes on the right hand side here. So now we'll come to the left hand side and I'll choose the limestone retaining wall at the bottom here, and again just draw the leader line away and place the text. And now I'll pick one of the windows, and once again we can see we get those same alignment lines so we can line up the leader and also align the text. So now, having got all of those tags placed, I'll click Modify to finish placing the tags. Looking at the view, we can see that we have some objects which are the same object, and we'd also like to have those tagged. But rather than use separate tags for each object, if I select the tag here for the roof, looking at the Modify Tags ribbon here, we can see we have an option for Add Remove Hosts. So I'll click on this to enable it, and we can see the first roof that we selected is highlighted. And now we can pick on the other roofs in the view, and as we pick each one, we can see a leader is added from the tag to that roof as well. So now that we've added all of the roofs into the tag here, I'll click Modify to finish the Add Remove Host tool. And now we can use the drag controls to tidy the leaders and the notes in the view. So first we'll use the Move drag control on the text here just to move it above the line of the roofs. And now we can use the drag controls on the leaders to give us a horizontal leader all the way across to the far roof here, and then just with the vertical line down to the arrowhead. And then we'll use the drag controls here to move the arrowhead on the second roof, and then adjust the shoulder so that it sits horizontal. And then finally we'll just adjust this leader point here to give us a vertical leader line to the first roof. Now I'll pick the tag for the windows, and again we'll use the Add Remove Host tool and then pick the second window. And with this one we could use the Merge Leaders tool on the ribbon here. When we click on this, we can see that it merges those two leaders to come from one shoulder. That makes it a bit tidier for this note here. And now I'll select the tag for the beige stucco rendered wall here, and again we'll use the add remove host to pick the middle wall, and again we'll use the drag controls this time so that we can tidy the leaders up just for these two walls. So now, having got all of those tags placed, I can see that we need to make some changes to some of the descriptions here. So looking at the beige stucco rendered wall here, we actually need to change that to a grey stucco wall. So to do this, I'll pick a piece of this stucco wall, and then we'll click Edit Type from the Properties palette here, and then we'll scroll down to the description parameter, and we can just change the beige colour in the description here to grey, and then we'll click OK to save and apply that change, and straight away we can see that that note on the tag is now updated as well. Looking at the tag for the roof here, I can see that it doesn't actually have a colour specified, and we can edit it direct on the tag. So I'll select the tag, and now if I click to edit the parameter, we can now edit it as if it's text, and we can just add the colour blue onto the front of this description now. And now if I click off of the text to finish editing it, we'll get the message letting us know that we're changing a type parameter and it could affect many elements. So we'll click yes to continue, and then we can see that that's updated the text there in the note. And I'll select the roof and click edit type to access its type properties, and we can see that colour blue has been added to the description parameter in here. So we'll click cancel to close the type properties. And now we just need to add some text notes around the balcony and the ground here. So to do this, we'll go to the Annotate ribbon tab. From the text panel here, we'll click on the text tool. Now looking at the type selector, we can see we have the 1/4 inch Arial type selected, so let's change this to be the 3/32 Arial type. And now looking at the Place Text ribbon tab here, we can see we currently have it set for no leader. We have an option for 1 segment, 2 segments or curved leaders, and we can also control the alignment for left, centre and right aligned. We'll leave it set to have no leader and left aligned. And now we'll just click into the view beneath the note here to start placing the text, and then we'll type the note in balcony detail by specialist contractor. And then we'll click close on the ribbon here to finish editing the text. And now we'll place a second note below this one here, below the limestone retaining wall, and we'll type in the note ground level varies around building. Once again, we'll click close to finish placing that note in. So now we have those notes placed, we'll click modify to finish the text tool. And now I'll select the balcony detail note here, and we can use the move drag control to position this out and align it with the text of the tag above. And then we'll use the drag control here to set the width of this note. I'll select the one below, and again we can move this and we can see we get the alignment line with the text above. And we'll use the drag control to set the width of this one as well. Actually looking at that, I can see that the tag is slightly out of line, so let's pick on this and again use its drag control, and we can see we get that alignment line as well now. So next I'll pick the balcony detail text here, and looking at the modify text notes ribbon, we can see we have options to place leaders left and right with straight or curved leaders, and we can also control the location of those leaders. So we'll click to place a straight leader on the right hand side. We can see that leader is coming from the bottom of the text, so let's go back to the ribbon and change it to come from the middle of the text. And now we can use the drag controls to position the leader as we need it. So now we have that placed, I'll select the ground level text note below, and again we'll place a straight leader on the right hand side, and we'll set the leader to come from the top of the note this time. And once again use those drag controls to position the leader to point to the ground. And finally we can see that they have a different arrowhead to the actual tags here, so I'll select one of the text notes. And now from the properties palette we'll choose edit type. And now we can see the parameter for leader arrowhead, and we'll click on and we'll scroll down and we'll change this from the arrow 30 degrees to be the dot field 1/16. So we'll click OK to close the type properties, and we can see both those text notes update with a new arrowhead which matches the tags already in the view. And now that we have that text placed, that completes adding the notes to this elevation view.